All right.
Back for
Last
another
night,
one.
yes, indeed. Last night we spoke with the winners of our very first, our inaugural Chesapeake Real Masters tournament, which was Mickey, Josh, and Kyle. And we had a great show. I mean, we had a great time talking to them about their day on the water. I mean, what was your key takeaway from last night?
Just the grit, the fortitude, the stick to itiveness, the never giving up attitude that they all exuded, and they put the puzzle together just enough to
Yeah.
etch something out and make it happen. And that's what it takes when you're tidal fishing sometimes. I mean, sometimes, we had an eclipse, we had an earthquake, we had torrential downpours, all
Yeah,
going on in the same week.
man.
So, the fishing was kind of off, but they made something happen. They made something happen out of nothing. So kudos to them.
That's
My
right.
hat is off to them. It was well earned.
Yeah, I mean, in the YouTube video that we released today, you had a line in there where you said that we had, yeah, the conditions were tough, but we also have tough anglers, and I think that summarizes everything. Sticking it out to the
It
end.
is.
Hey, before we hop in today, we do have to acknowledge our sponsors. So let's just go back and forth. Which sponsor would you like to shout out tonight, Carl?
All right, I'm going to start off with KFWC Outdoors.
Mhm.
They are sponsoring. I don't know if you guys know this or not. I don't know if we're pumping this not enough, but they are sponsoring the Big Bass of the Year. Okay, whoever catches the biggest bass of the year during our tournament season, all the way through to September, the Battle of the Best, uh, they have a chance to win $500. And KFWC Outdoors is sponsoring that, and we're going to have him on a live stream this week. We're going to try to squeeze him in and get him in this week. But that's huge. The other one is O-Line Baits.
Yeah.
To all our winners of tournaments this year, Justin Talbot is going to provide a free custom bag of plastics to your liking, whatever you want. He can do it. Whatever you're dreaming of, he can do it. I already tested the guy, and he gave me 3 bags of baits that I'm just in love with, and I will be throwing them this weekend on the Potomac. Another sponsor I want to mention is Mech Baits. Okay, uh, Mech Baits is going to give the second and third place finishers, that's these two guys right here, uh, a free custom crankbait. Or it could be a trap too,
Mm.
but he's cooking up some very nice colors for the Potomac and the Upper Bay that you should be able to smash them on if you get your hands on one. So that's exciting. And last but not least, Big Bass USA. You can find them at bigbassusa.com online. They're a premier kayak dealer in Maryland. The guy has just about every brand in stock. I don't think he does Hobie, but
Right.
just about everything else he has. Feel Free, Kayak, Jackson Kayaks,
Yeah, Bonafide.
New Canoe, which is my I rock with New Canoe. I love New Canoe Unlimited. But he has the Bonafide. Yeah, he has the Bonafide native lineup. He has all of that in stock too. So check him out, Chris, over at Big Bass USA, and what he's doing for us this year. He is sponsoring the Angler of the Year, which will receive $1,000 at the end of the season when we get to Battle of the Best. Okay, it's going to come
Right.
down to Battle of the Best, literally, in a AOI points race, and it's your 5 best tournaments, just 5, your 5 best tournaments to be eligible for that. And if you have a bad tournament, say you had a bad tournament on the Upper Bay, the first tournament of the year, you could drop that one and add a
Yeah.
Potomac event that you did better on. So we have 11 events. Was it 10 events throughout the year? I think the calendar is
Yeah.
right behind us. So
Yeah.
you have time to make up. Even if you came in 5 tournaments in, you still have a chance to make up some ground on that and make some noise in that AOI race. All right, it's going to be a barn burner all the way down to the end. And also, with Big Bass USA, you're going to get 10 to 15% off your kayak purchase. It just depends on when you got your membership through CRM KBF. If you were the diehard day ones that got in January, Chris is giving you 15% off. Okay, that's a little something special because those guys came in the dead of winter and joined us when we didn't even have a tournament. So Chris is rolling out the red carpet for them, but not to be forgotten, everyone else is getting 10% off too, which is nothing to sneeze at. So if you're in the market for a new kayak, go see Big Bass USA. So you can take it over from there.
Hey, Mickey's saying that it's looking like it's going to require a big bag to win this weekend. I completely agree with Mickey. And hey, if anyone's to do it, it's probably the current champ, right?
Yeah.
I mean, anybody can win it, but Mickey's a reigning champ coming off the Upper Bay, so shout out to him. Kyle saying it's looking like it's going to be a slugfest. Jesse Ketchum, he's saying that Big Bass is probably going to be caught this weekend. I could see that happen. I can see that happening for sure. The big girls, they probably fasted last week because of the weather. So they're really hungry this weekend. I mean, I think they're going to be just looking for an absolute buffet, shatter moving up. I mean, I see them expressing no temperance whatsoever. If you can find them, I think they'll be biting.
It's going to be exciting to watch. It's definitely going to be a slugfest. There's going to be some fish put up on the board early and often throughout the day on Saturday and Sunday. And by the way, the deadline for the Saturday event is Friday at midnight. And the deadline to register for the Sunday event is midnight Saturday. All right. So you do have one extra day to sign up for the Sunday event. But we'd love to see all you guys out there on the water. It's going to be something else. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah. And speaking of that, awards is going to be hosted amongst at least us and MAKBF at
Port
Tobacco. So great time to hang out. You got energy, hang out with other anglers. I mean, if you're cashing a check or you think you are, please show up as well so that we can document that and we can get to meet you too.
Get yourself some crab cakes, get yourself some wings.
Man, I haven't had dinner yet. You make me hungry, Carl. But hey, tonight is our first ever virtual pre-fish. This is really for anglers who maybe are new to tournament fishing or just people who are like us who are always learning, always seeking to get better. We wanted to just share some macro level, high level tips. We're not out here telling you guys exact spots or telling you exactly what to throw. We're not doing that. We just want to help equip you so that you can go into this weekend, if it's your first tournament ever, with a little bit of confidence, feeling a little bit, more enthusiastic, kind of get some of those butterflies out of the way. So, Carl, I know you have a list of notes. If you can kick this off, I'll chime in if I feel like there's anywhere to assist.
All right, I want to start with a disclaimer. Okay, I don't want anyone to get upset that I'm giving away spots. I'm spot burning. First of all, there's no secrets on the Potomac. All right, if you fish this body of water enough, and I understand we got some newer guys in the group, but if you fish this body enough to know a little bit about it, there's no secrets out here. I mean, last couple years I fished it, I practiced, and you practice during the week. Nobody's out there. You're catching them in these little spots. You're like, oh, okay, I found the juice over here. I found some juice over here. And you start mapping out where you're going to go during the tournament. Tournament day comes. There's like 3 boats sitting on all of your spots. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
There's no secrets out here. Everybody knows these spots. Not everybody has 4 faces sonar, but they do have a graph, usually. And they can see stuff underwater. They can see grass. They can see structure. They can see all that stuff. They can see fish. If they're going out here practicing, they're going to find spots. So to that point, there's a lot of community holes on the Potomac too. So, I always say, in my videos, I give up a lot of spots. I mean, am I
Mm.
spot burning? No, not really. I mean, I've really had to wrestle with releasing those videos because, I like those spots. Uh, I did well in those spots, but the more I thought about it, there were more boats around me in all of those spots. I wasn't the only person there. There were multiple boats around me. It's just maneuvering around them, trying to find your spot first or whatever. But you're going to be around other boats on the Potomac. And there's going to be a bass boat tournament going off, I think, Saturday. I don't know about Sunday. I think there's a bass boat tournament going off Saturday out of Leesavania, I want to say. There might be one going out of Smallwood, too. But you're going to have to battle with bass boats. I mean, that's just a fact of the matter. It's the Potomac. Everybody knows about the Potomac. So without further ado, I want to start north and just kind of work my way down the Potomac all the way down to like Port Tobacco or maybe Potomac Creek, and just give the newer guys just maybe like a layout of the Potomac, places you can launch from, what to expect when you get there. I'm not going to give you any baits to throw. I'm not going to tell you how to fish the area. That's totally up to you. I mean, if you've been fishing long enough, I'm pretty sure you're going to figure it out. So at the top of the list, if you go all the way north towards the Woodrow Wilson Bridge, on the Virginia side, you have Belhaven Park Marina. Okay. I've been there a few times. I've been there in kayak tournaments. I've been there practicing in kayak tournaments. I've been there in bass boat tournaments in different parts of the season. And it changes throughout the year. But that's a good place to go if you want to launch your boat and be closer to the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. You might have less competition up there. A lot of people don't know about Belhaven or even have even been there. But there's rocks there. There's plenty of wood. Oh my God, there's some wood. The marina doesn't really come into play too much. But there's a lot of wood. There's some grass. There's some points. There's some eddies, and there's a lot of current that pulls through there. So the fish set up in different ways. So if you can figure that out and figure out how to fish that area, you might be able to put something together. But the whole arsenal is open to you, whether you want to power fish, whether you want to flip, it's pitch. It's up to you and how you, or drag something. It's up to you and how you want to fish, but it's all there for you. The next spot down is a little bit further south, but it's on the Maryland side, and you can launch at Fort Washington Marina. I know Fort Washington Marina well. I used to live in Fort Washington many, many moons ago, back before I even knew they had bass in that creek.
Oh man.
But Fort Piscataway Creek, to be more specific, is loaded with wood. It's a big creek arm. There's docks that you can fish. Did I say wood? There's a lot of wood. There's pads. If you go all the way to the back, a lot of people don't know how to get back there. But there's a secret channel back there. Did I give up some juice? No, I don't think I just gave.
Well, hey, speaking of juice though, Jeremy, what's Jeremy's last name? Jeremy Smith is saying that if you tell us the juice, he'll join CRM. Man, that's
So if I don't know if that's like I don't know what that is. I don't know how to approach that one. I'm gonna leave that one alone.
it kind of feels like an ultimatum,
I can't. The creed is we're not gonna spot burn. We're not gonna teach guys how to fish Potomac. We're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
that's the fun of it, is figuring it out.
Yeah, I'm assuming we also won't tell Kyle exactly where they will be. Yeah, that's not happening. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't been out there yet. Have you been out there, Carl?
No, I have not been on the Potomac. I take that back. I might have been out on the Potomac once. No, I haven't. I've been on the Upper Bay one time this year. That's the first time I've been fishing since October or November last year. And that was out on a boat. I have not been out on the Potomac. I don't know what's going on. I'm just hearing things from different friends and whatnot. So I couldn't
Yeah.
tell you anything. I'm not a help at all when it comes to the Potomac.
Yeah.
This
Kyle was
this
talking about the awards, by the way. Where
will
will the awards be?
it will be at the Port Tobacco Marina and Restaurant in Port Tobacco. It's about
There we go.
17 minutes. Well,
From Slavins or Smallwood?
both. I think more or less Smallwood.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, 17 minutes from Smallwood. But if you're fishing on the Virginia side, it's not that far from the 301 bridge too. I think they timed it out where you can fish the Virginia side, and we're going to get to that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Piscataway Creek, just to finish up with that, that's in the Maryland side. There's pads, there's grass. Did I say wood? There's a lot of wood. You can power fish, you can flip, you can pitch. There's some big snakeheads back there too. So I don't know if we're having a side pot or whatever, but that's Snakehead City back there too. There's some big ones.
I think MAKBF is, so there might be a reason to double dip with them.
That's a yeah. But Piscataway is a great place to. I mean, it's huge. The whole creek is huge. You can go all the way out to the mouth, which is near the main river, and you can fish it all the way to the front to the back and find something and put it together. So the next one is kind of controversial, but it's a little bit further south, maybe a little bit across, but it's on the Virginia side. And it's not really controversial. It's Fort Belvoir Marina. You need to get credentialed first to get on base. It's on an Army base, but it's a public ramp. It is open. It's not off limits. If you go there ahead of time and get registered to come on base, you can launch out of Fort Belvoir Marina. And there's a creek arm that goes. It dumps you right into. There's a lot of wood back there. There's it's a creek. It's a lot of current pulling through there. So it's a fun place to fish. I've been there in the fall. It's a fun place to fish. There are some docks too that you can fish back there. But the main thing is just wood, and it's just a lot of current, and it's in a creek. So if you like fishing in a creek, that might be a spot that you might want to hit. It does dump you out into the main river, and there's some docks and stuff that go along as you get to the main river, if I recall, that you can fish, and a lot of wood. So you can make some hay there too. It's not a spot to get touched. It doesn't get touched too much because the simple fact is you got to get registered first with the base before they will let you on to actually use the marina. So for you sneaky guys that want to get in the creek, it's not getting too much pressure. That might be a spot for you.
Those are the spots I like. Hey, Rudy's asking, and you may get to it, but he's asking, what about Quantico?
Ooh, I think Quantico, you're talking about
the base?
You're talking about Hospital Point boat ramp?
Rudy, can you let us know in the comments if that's what you're referring to? And to Bunky's talking about the recap video. I'm glad you liked it. There are a few people who got shout outs in there. Make sure you guys check that out and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Justin's saying that you need base access, Rudy.
Yeah, that one is another one. That's Quantico Marine Base to get to that ramp. So I'm foggy on that one. I'm gonna have to get back with you.
Yeah.
Maybe we get with Aaron and Mike Ortega and confirm whether or not that's off or on limits. Because I'm not sure. I thought I do, but I don't have that in front of me. And I meant to follow up on that before we got out here on this live stream, but I got.
But if you tune into the captain's meeting on Thursday, we can definitely address it then for sure.
Absolutely, Thursday at 8:00, I think it is.
Good deal. I love our community. Justin's saying that it takes a bit of time to get access to that Marine base. So
Yeah, that's an important marine base. I think they got like all kinds of. It's serious.
yeah, yeah. But all right, back to you, Carl.
All right. So getting back to the Maryland side, if you want to fish the main Potomac, that's maybe more of your flavor. You want to get into the main river. Marshall Hall might be a place you want to launch from. It's a place that I mean, it's directly on the main Potomac. You can go left or you can go right. I wouldn't recommend you go all the way across to the Virginia side. I never recommend crossing over to the Virginia or the Virginia side, crossing over to the Maryland side. I would never recommend that. But if you wanted to go north, come back south, or go south and come back north, you might find some great fishing because there's a lot of wood. There's a ton of grass. There are some docks. There's some creeks, some shallow creeks that you can get into. Actually, hold on. I skipped ahead to the next one, and I missed my notes. But at Marshall Hall, there's rocks, there's grass, there's wood, there's docks. The main thing is it's off the main river. So if you want to get some of the main river fishing in, that's your flavor, you can do it at Marshall Hall.
Got another question from Jeremy. He's asking if live bait is allowed. I haven't met Jeremy yet.
Live bait?
Oh yeah.
Man, if you're fun fishing,
yeah, only artificial lures.
Not in the tournament, buddy.
Only artificial lures. All the rules as well are on our website, in the download section on the page. So you can get your waivers there, your W-9s, the rules, the identifier cards, all that's there. Also, we recently updated the website with our AOY standings. So make sure you check those out as well. You know, I tried to make it at least, fun to experience, a little color coordinated and all this other stuff. It'll automatically drop your lowest score once you get 5. So yeah, check that out. But back to you, Carl.
All right. Well, to get back over on the other side of the river to the Virginia side, for our Virginia friends, or even our Maryland friends, or DC friends, or Pennsylvania friends, or Delaware friends, or wherever you might be from, Pohick Bay Regional Park. There is a nominal fee to get into this park, but I've fished Pohick Bay before in the past in bass boat tournaments. I've never fished it in a kayak tournament, but there's some big fish in Pohick Bay. There's a lot of wood, a lot of structure, a lot of grass. There are some docks, not a lot. I don't think they're a major player, but you never know. You get an isolated dock, Big Mama could be sitting on it. You never know. That's happened to me. But they do have some shallow creeks in there. So if you like to do that shallow water fishing up in the creeks, you can get it in up in Pohick Bay. I forgot how much it costs to get up in there. I think it's like either $6 or $9, somewhere in between there. I'm not sure what time it opens. So you definitely want to check their website to see what time it opens, because we're launching pretty early, and I'm not sure if that park is going to be open early. Some of the Virginia parks open at, I think, 7 or 8 o'clock. Yeah. So you definitely want to check the times on those parks.
There's a comment from Bunky. Basically, Bunky's a hammer. He's always been around the juice. He knows where the juice is, and this might be the year that he puts the puzzle together. Bunky and Kenny need their own live stream.
We got to have them on.
We have to have them on. Guys, let us know when you're available in Messenger. All right, this has to happen. I think the people want it too. Kenny's saying that Bunky can watch him win. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. All right, but you're talking about Pohick. You're talking about Virginia State Park opening times. Yeah, make sure you check all that stuff.
Yeah.
Prior to the morning of, or tonight, whenever.
Yeah, very important. Keeping with the Virginia side, there's another place you can launch from, public ramp, Leesylvania State Park. All right, there's another nominal fee to get into this park, but what it opens you up to is the main river. You can fish around Leesavania. I've fished Toyota series, and it was some of the most boring fishing I ever did in my life. But I fished Toyota series strictly at Leesavania Park all day. I watched my boater vacuum them up like a vacuum cleaner, and I couldn't catch not a one. And it was extremely frustrating. But there's fish to be had. I've caught big fish at Leesavania. Leesavania does have some rocks. The rocks, some deeper water there. There's some pylons out there, and there's some big fish out there. But it gets a lot of pressure from the bass boat tournaments and everything. So beware of that. There's some wood at Leesavania. There's some docks, of course. The main thing is you have access to the main river, so you can go north or you can go south. You can kind of work your way into Belmont, the mouth of Belmont Bay, as you go north. And there's some fish in Belmont Bay. There's some creeks nearby under a bridge that you can slip into. That I've never been back there, but they have a fishing pier back there too, so there's got to be fish back there. But Leesavania is a place that you can check out. And it's funny because I'm looking at my notes, and one of the things that I left out was Occoquan Regional Park. That place right there, set aside the restaurant that they have right there at the marina with the burgers and everything. That's a great place to launch from too. I've launched there many times. If you watched any of my videos on the YouTube channel, most of that stuff is out of Leesavania. A lot of guys on the Virginia side will launch out of not Leesavania, but Occoquan Regional Park, because it gives you access to, you can go all the way back to the dam where the water, not the dam, but the waterfall that they have back there and the little town they have and the bridges and all that. You can fish all that kind of stuff, or you can work your way towards the mouth where it feeds into Belmont Bay. And Belmont Bay is a very interesting area because there's like a couple of creeks that I think it's like 4 creeks that feed into Belmont Bay. And Belmont Bay, if you don't know what it is, it's a community hall. It's a huge grass flat. It's sort of akin to the flats on the Upper Bay. It's a huge grass flat. It's chuckload of fish. One of my favorite places to fish. I'm not trying to spot burn it, but it's one of my favorite places to fish. But you got pads. You got tons of pads back there. Oh my God. You got tons of wood, grass for days, and you got docks for days. So whatever you're looking for, whatever way you're trying to fish, it has it all. And it has a lot of it. So if one thing isn't working, you can switch it up, go to another thing. That isn't working, you can switch it up and go to another thing. So I think that's why that particular park is popular. And again, you want to check and see what time that park gate opens, because it might open after launch time. And but it might be worth the wait for you. It might be worth the wait. So Occoquan Regional Park, definitely check that one out. All right, so I missed that one. I don't know how I skipped that one and went straight to Leesavania, but maybe I was trying to keep that one to myself. I don't know.
Hey, that's where I met you last year. Jesse is saying that he thinks the park opens up at 6:30.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Verified though.
For sure.
The next one will be, let's take you back on the Maryland side in Mattawoman Creek. Smallwood State Park. You can access it through that. You can access it through Slavins.
I usually wait for someone else to say it first, and then I just say what they said. So if we're going to say Slavins, I'm gonna roll with you on that. The northern ramp, the northern ramp.
The other ramp. That's what I'm going to. The other ramp that's not Smallwood. Yeah. It's only 2 back there.
And what creek is this?
Mattawoman Creek.
Okay, is that the Virginia side?
That's the Maryland side.
Really? Okay, that's that's good to know.
Mattawoman Creek, you can fish that all the way back to that road.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to say 226 or 227. I can't remember, but it's a road, a bridge that crosses. You can fish that creek all the way back to that first bridge that you hit. Once you go past that, you're out of bounds. So you don't want to go past that bridge. But Mattawoman has it all. It has rocks. It has docks. It has pads. It has wood. Lord have mercy, it has wood. Grass. Boy, does it have some grass. And it has shallow creek fishing. So there's a little bit of everything in Mattawoman. And whether you want to play the beginning of Mattawoman or the back end or the middle, doesn't matter. You can launch from either ramp and hit all of it. But if you launch from Smallwood and try to go all the way to the back of Mattawoman Creek, you might want to carry an extra battery with you. I'm just saying, you might want to carry an extra battery. It might be a one-way trip.
Yeah. I've never gone from ramp to ramp. I know some folks who we fished with last year, they launched at Slavins, went all the way out to the mouth and back. And I think they went through two torpedo batteries to do that.
Yeah. I fished Mattawoman and I've seen guys do that, and then you see them on the third pass and they're paddling, or they got they're doing the foot thing with the pedals. The batteries.
Yeah. Oh man. Bunky wants to know if we're bringing snacks back to awards. He made the mistake of not getting the chocolate sugar fingers that Kenny G got. Karl, you brought the snack, so
I'm gonna have to see if I can get some of those chocolate. My wife actually got those.
Shout out to Miss Wynn. Mrs. Wynn.
They only had a couple left. I'll try to go back and see if they restocked them, but they were good. They were good.
I will have donuts, fellas. That's going to be a regular thing. That's just a CRM thing from now on. So it's just a matter of whether or not you're at the ramp where the donuts are. You know, which ramp I'll be at, that's disclosed until the morning of.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to luck out on it.
Hey. Okay, so we're talking about Mattawoman. You're saying it's a decent fishery or decent creek?
Yeah, Mattawoman, or you can launch out of Slavins, you can launch out of Smallwood. Got to double check and make sure they don't have a tournament, a basketball tournament going out of Smallwood, because if you're loading up there, you definitely don't want to be in the way. And also, they make sure they don't have that triathlon going on too. I didn't check the dates on that, but that park is murderous when they have that triathlon going on, because you're not going anywhere. I mean, they're just running in the streets, a sea of people. They're on bikes. They're swimming out in the Potomac. They're swimming back. I mean, it's just a mass of people. You can't even get to the parking spot. So something to think about. You want to verify too before you head out there. All right. So we talked about Quantico Creek going back on the Virginia side. Get back with us on Thursday. When all the tournament directors have the meeting for the tournaments, the captain's meeting, and we'll straighten the Quantico Creek question out for you. But if it was open, man, there's rocks, there's wood, there's grass, there's bridges, creeks, and it's close to the main river. So that would be a gold mine if you can get in there.
Hey, Karl, Kenny and Bunky are talking about safety. Rumor has it somebody flipped 2 years ago, and it was devastating. So, of course, wearing a PFD is big. Whistles are big. I don't think you have any issues with nobody being around you as far as accountability, but always make sure you check in. Tides can be dangerous in creeks. The water moves faster in creeks than it does on the main river, or even in the main channel. But yeah, so we have a whole fishing safety video as well that you can reference for that. But thank you for sharing that. Safety is always first.
Yeah, safety is always first. Safety first.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. All right. Where are we headed?
All right, moving south. There's an interesting spot that you can fish. I fished this area in a bass boat. I fished this area in a kayak. And when I fished it in a kayak, I was terrified. And this place is none other than Mallows Bay Park. If you know, you know. That graveyard for those shipwrecks, man, I tell you, if you got a pedal drive, any kind of motor, look out. Those iron things that come out of the structure when the tide goes down, you do not want to hit that stuff. So,
Oh wow.
and it's very snaggy too. Very snaggy. But man, there's some good fishing back there. There's some good fishing. Mallows Bay, it's known for the shipwrecks. They sit. It sits right on the main Potomac. It's a popular spot or destination for kayakers who just want to kayak. They're not really fishing. They're just out there just taking a day tour. But it has a lot of pads as you get in the back. Seawalls, wooden seawalls, a lot of wood, and there's a creek. There's a shallow creek that runs back there, and word has it there's some monster snakeheads back there too. But the main thing with it is that it's right off the main river, but around those shipwrecks is so much structure. There's definitely fish out there. I've been out there in a tournament and caught them, and I don't know how the guy got in there, and I don't know how he got out without hitting one of those iron pipes. But that's a dicey place, especially when the wind kicks up. So, I wouldn't go back up in there unless you were familiar with it or stay out on the edges because it's treacherous. The inside where the creek is and right around the ramp, when you make that first right and you turn into where that little bay is and all that with the grasses, and that part is chock full of fish. I've always had a hard time catching them, but there's a lot of fish in there. So yeah, Mallows Bay on the Maryland side. All right, and moving down a little bit further south on the Virginia side, you can launch from Aquia Creek. Aquia Creek is huge. It has everything in there. It has a lot of everything, a lot of docks. If you like to pitch and flip, you like to soak your bait, Aquia Creek might be your creek. I mean, it's just a huge creek. Plenty of wood back there, pads. I did say docks. Bridges. You even got bridges back there. You got rocks. You got channel swings and grass. So it's just everything. Whatever. Pick your poison. Whatever way you want to fish, whether you want to power fish, finesse, whatever kind of presentation that's your thing, you could probably do it in Aquia Creek. And when it's on, it's on. It'll be a big contingent of people down there on the Virginia side, I bet, on Aquia Creek.
Yeah. And speaking of the Virginia side, we are partnering with MVKBA as well, at least on Saturday, right?
Yeah, their tournament is Saturday. Yep.
Good deal. Yeah, Aquia is a spot where a lot of BFLs, a lot of huge tournaments have been won.
That name rings out a lot. If you go back and watch a lot of the old FLW videos on YouTube, Aquia Creek that name rings out a lot. There's some other creeks on the Potomac that ring out a lot too, but you just can't get to them on a kayak, like the Chick. That one, there's no launch to get into the Chick. The Chick, man, is just loaded with fish. When that tide swings, it can be something serious. But you can't, it's no way to get there. I would not try to leave mad a woman or something and try to go to the chick. That's just,
Ooh, yeah, nah.
nah.
Nah, I went back there with a guide last year and we tore them up. I think we caught like 32 bass in 4 hours. It
Yeah,
was
I can believe it.
ridiculous.
I can when that tide changes,
Ridiculous.
man. It's that dinner bell rings. It's on.
Mm,
It's on.
yeah.
On.
Hold on. We have a question from Kyle. He's asking where the launch is on Aquia. There's a couple launches on Aquia. One of the popular ones is the name is slipping my mind. I'm just gonna look it up.
You can Google it. Yeah, I don't know all
Yeah.
the launch points in Aquia. It does have to be a public marina that everyone can launch from. It can't be a private marina. That's the only requirement.
All right.
You can't launch out
Hope
of
Springs
somebody's.
is where I've go ahead.
No, you can't launch out of somebody's private dock or whatever. It has to be a public marina. Or what were you saying about Hope Springs?
That's the launch that I've launched from whenever I've fished
Okay.
Aquia. But there's a few of them because Aquia is huge.
I haven't been all the way back in Aquia. I've only looked at it on the map. Is there anything you want to share about Aquia?
Just so you get a mix of everything. You know, like Aquia is fairly wide from the mouth back to where it starts to transition into a tighter creek channel
Mm-hmm.
that almost has like bluff bank structure. So you get a mix. I mean, depending on how you think they're going to be positioned based off of the weather and their migration pattern and the structure of that creek, you have a mix. Like they're not hitting on one thing, you can switch it up. Like if it's not laydowns, you can try rock, you can try docks, you know, you can try their flats. So I mean, I feel like Aquia is almost like Mad Woman on the Virginia
2.0.
side.
Yeah. I know that
That's just me.
where the beach is at the mouth of Aquia, that's
Mhm.
it's a community hole. Um, I've been there for basketball tournaments, and they would be stacked up in
Yeah,
front of that beach, just fishing the grass out front. And I've never had any luck there, but I've seen people catch them.
yeah, good deal. What's up, Nick? Um, oh man, I love it. Hey, side pot between Justin, Bunky, and Kenny. Who's going to end up getting the biggest bag? That would be cool. Only one way to find out. All right, so we got Aquia, right? What's south of Aquia?
All right, here's where it gets a little murky. I have not fished past Potomac Creek ever.
Same.
Potomac Creek is on the Virginia side. It's just one river down.
Mhm.
It's not that far either. And it's another creek that kind of has a bay at the mouth with grass. Has a little seawall right there at the entrance with a long pier. And there's a lot of docks back there. There's plenty of wood, grass, pads. They got a grass flat. If I'm not mistaken, I think one of the MLF champions came out of Potomac Creek not too
Yes.
long ago.
Yep.
The video is out there. I mean, the guy just straight stroked him. I mean, he
It
just
was a
put on a
clinic.
master's class in grass
Yeah.
fishing.
Yeah. Any more on the Potomac Creek? Because we got a question that came in, and I
Go
think you're
for it.
more equipped to answer it. Mark Nelson is asking, is the Potomac considered reciprocal waters where Maryland fishing licenses are acceptable in Virginia and vice versa? You corrected me on this a while back, so I do think you're more qualified to speak on it, Karl.
I'm only qualified because I got pulled over.
That's one way to find out.
And I could not find my license.
Oh.
I thought I had it on my phone. I thought I had a picture of it. And you know how it is when the DNR is right in front of you. They gaffed my little kayak, and we're sitting there in the middle of Belmont Bay, and I'm trying to find. It's on my video. It's on my YouTube channel. I couldn't find my license. So what he said was he couldn't look me up in the database because they can't search Maryland database. So what they do is it's reciprocal. If you have a Maryland license, you don't need a Virginia license to fish the Virginia side of the Potomac, and vice versa. Now, when you get up into DC, which we don't fish, you got to have a DC license, So I think that might be one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of kayak tournaments or tournaments in general in that DC area, because you have to get a DC license too, and you got to have a Maryland license. It gets kind of crazy up there. But anyhow.
Hey, quick question. Jesse wants to know where you can launch in Potomac Creek. Do you know of any ramps?
I've never launched at a ramp at Potomac Creek. I would suggest Google any public any public marina or ramp, and call. That's what I do. I don't have a list. I think we can probably go somewhere and generate a list of public ramps. But if I'm not sure, I'll call around. I'll call the marina and say, hey, is this a public marina? And if they say no, it's private, then that's your answer right there.
I'm on Google Maps right now. It looks like Wall Point Marina is public. I could be wrong. It's definitely worth looking into. That's near the mouth of Potomac Creek. Belle Plaine Boat Club sounds like it might be private, but maybe worth looking into. Yeah, those are the two spots I can see quickly right now. That's about it. You were saying you haven't fished south of Potomac Creek, Karl?
No, I've heard of guys fishing Nanjemoy. I don't even know where you can launch with a kayak out of Nanjemoy. And then I've been down to Port Tobacco a couple times, not to fish, just going down to that restaurant down there. And they got a deck that overlooks the river. It's like a huge deck that wraps around the restaurant. It's covered, and it's a beautiful view while you're eating. But the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, man, this looks like it looks bassy. It looks. I'm seeing blow ups. I'm like, wait a minute, man. Need a fishing rod? I need to go. That water did look good, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what the fishing's like out there. But I know that's where we're having our awards show or ceremony. So I don't know. Maybe I'll go out there Sunday and fish it.
Hey, who knows?
See.
An area I've always wanted to fish but never have is Compton. Brian Latimer fished out there one year.
Where?
Exactly. It's even further south, going towards whatever bridge that is. That's our southern boundary point.
See, the thing is,
I think it's called Compton, but it's near the city of Compton.
Okay. Well, the thing is, the further you get south, especially during the summertime, the saltier the water gets. And the fishing, I think, gets tougher. That's the word on the street. That's what I hear from other anglers. That's the dock talk that I hear.
Dock talk?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesse's saying the south of the Potomac hasn't played in decades. Good to know. Unless he's trying to lead us all away from the south of the Potomac, so he has it all to himself.
That could be too. Well played, Jesse. Well played.
Reverse psychology, potentially. Nah.
That woman hasn't played in years either.
No, something about that sub-emergent vegetation?
Yeah, I think it's,
Yeah, so that's tough.
So I'm just gonna say, hopefully, we didn't tick anybody off and disclose anyone's secret location for fishing this coming weekend. The Potomac is an open book. You can go on YouTube. You can look at FLW events. You can look at YouTube fishermen, and you can figure out different parts of the Potomac. But But we did this mainly to just give the guys the lay of the land from north to south, areas where you can launch from and what you can expect when you get there, and kind of break it down that way in a very generic way. Not trying to tell you what to throw, what colors to throw, what kind of baits, and whether to power fish or finesse, none of that kind of stuff. I mean, those are things you got to figure out when you get out there. But we just wanted to give you a layout of the field. That's it. That's all.
Bunky might feel some type of way about you releasing the Joppatown location in the last stream.
Who, me?
Called out a certain location. Oh, hey, that's a cool question. Jeremy wants to know, Kenny's throwing Pokemon lures. I guess you got to catch them all, huh? I've seen a SpongeBob Squarebill, but I've never seen like a Pikachu jig. That might be interesting, right? Some dirty water. It's like a chartreuse vibe. Kenny might be onto something. But Jeremy wants to know where we caught our biggest fish, respectively, on the Potomac. I think it's not. That's a great question, because we don't have to spot burn, right? Name the creek.
That's a good question. You know, it's harder for me to remember where I caught big fish on the Potomac, and I'm not bragging. It's just because I caught so many of them. It's just a regular thing now. But
wow,
I would say
Kenny G's hilarious.
I would say some of the biggest fish I caught were up north, by Woodrow Wilson Bridge. It's actually off limits for us.
Ooh, is that considered DC? Is it like right above the bridge on the other side?
It's right before you get the Blue Plains, but it's right.
Okay.
It's right past the bridge, right past National Harbor. There's a spot that everybody knows about that I'm not going to disclose. But
yeah,
up north, there's some big fish. But I've caught some big fish. I will give you this location. My very first tournament ever in a bass boat. I caught one fish, and that fish was like 4.64 pounds. And I caught it on a 1/4 ounce trap, and it was in Pomonkey Bay on the Potomac, on the Maryland side. Never forget it. To me, that's the biggest fish I caught on the Potomac. I can't remember the other ones, but I remember that one.
Nice. The Maryland state record was caught north of the Woodrow Wilson. Sheesh. Thanks for sharing that, Justin.
I can believe it.
Okay. So it sounds like you have a couple spots where you've caught big fish on the Potomac, Karl.
Who, me?
Yeah. That's what I'm hearing.
Everywhere. There's big fish on the Virginia side. There's big fish on the Maryland side. I mean, they're everywhere, man. Fish around and find out. That's all I can tell you.
The more you fish around, the more you find out. It's a phenomenal equation. For me, man, all right. So I think I might have a tie. I caught a 4 for the Potomac, at least. I caught a 4 at in the Chickamuxon. So, but it's kind of funny to get in there. And then Mickey actually, no, did he see me catch the fish? At the end of the Potomac tournament last season, I caught like a 3.9 inside of Mattawoman. That's all I can say. Not going to say where, but yeah. And it fought hard. And it was very fun to catch. Like, just the whole thing, the whole situation.
I mean, there's big fish all over the Potomac. I mean, it just pick a creek, pick a area, you can find a big fish. I'm telling you. I mean, I've caught them in Piscataway. I've caught them in Belmont Bay, Occoquan, the Chick, Woman.
Yeah. Oh, also, I mean, because I'm documenting the club this season, I'm basically going to pick a different creek every tournament. So I do a little bit of fishing when I shoot. So I'm excited. Like I want to explore. I've only fished like 3 creeks on the Potomac River. And I know there's more to the Potomac than the 3 that I've targeted. I just tend to target specific types of creeks. So hey, that's nice. Jeremy saying that CRM is the new jam for kayak fishing. Really appreciate that. But we're out here aiming to grow the sport, and we know that doing it, requires more than just us. That's why we partner with amazing clubs,
It's you
Are we
guys,
fishing?
really.
It really is. That's true.
Make the club. It's the members.
Yeah. Y'all are the heroes. Are we fishing this weekend? I'm not fishing this weekend. I am filming and photographing. I'll be fishing, but I won't be in the tournament. Carl's fishing though, so I'd be scared.
I'm gonna fish one day. I'm undecided on whether it will be Saturday or Sunday, but I feel like I owe Josh Evans a redo from last year.
I agree. Jesse wants to know if he can fish from the back of your boat. He used to feel like a co-angler again. That new canoe can hold both of y'all.
You're right. It does. You can put a second seat in it. Been out many times with my daughter. Yeah.
That's cool. I'm looking forward to creating those memories with my son, but he's only 8 months, so it'll be at least a couple more months before I can get him in a life jacket, get him out there. But anything else you wanted to touch on? Like, do you think we should talk about? And also, if you have any questions, let us know. But should we talk about strategies? Should we talk about making sure you have everything you need for the river before, like, make checklists? That's the best thing I can say. Ooh, that got you this past
If we
week.
can get a sponsorship with Duracell battery, if you're listening, we will be forever grateful. I went out there to Joppatown, dropped my XI3 motor in the water, hit the remote, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I go into my bag, because I traveled light. I'm not fishing. I didn't even bring I just brought a quick little tool bag. And I had some old batteries in there, double, triple A. They were dead though, nothing. So I switched them out, nothing happened. So I'm back to paddling with my Ascend paddle.
Welcome to my world.
Feels like a dumbbell. They're paddling. And but if I had these, I could have got some more guys and took more pictures. And that's what I plan to do this weekend. So I have my batteries now. I didn't go cheap. I was at the Dollar General. I didn't go cheap. I got the Duracell.
Yeah.
I burned once. I'm not getting burned again.
I'm going to get you some rechargeables, Carl. That way you can always just have them on the go on your way to the boat ramp. You'd be good to go.
I usually keep a spare of everything, but I took it out for something else because it was a dead of winter and never put it back. Just like I didn't charge up my battery for my graph.
Yeah, same.
I went to turn it on to test it, nothing. I was like, oh man, I ran my battery all the way down. So that wasn't good, but yeah.
Bunky's saying that you don't want that smoke from Joshua Evans. He says he's a beast on the Potomac. I thought we were cool with Bunky. I thought you guys were cool. Do you have a response for Mr. Is it Weicker?
No, I don't have a response for Bucky. I don't. And that's why I like fishing against Josh and Alex Fiocca, and now Alan Hurt. He got a bullseye on his back too. He's state champion. So, I like to fish against those guys and see where I'm at, because they fish nationally. They fish all over. They fish the Hobies. They fish the Bassmasters. I'm just what do I know? I just sell split foyers in Glen Burnie, man.
Hey.
I just fish on the weekends.
I know, right? I mean, oh, hold on. What's going on here? Jeremy is creating a side pot situation. He's putting $10 on Josh.
Oh, okay.
M-
Don't
I,
ask me to put up any money. That's amongst you guys. I'm not betting on
yeah, that is true,
anything.
though. Actions do speak louder than words. Actions do speak
We're
louder than
gonna have
words.
some fun. We're gonna have some
Indeed.
fun.
All right. I think that's enough for tonight. Make sure you have a checklist. Make sure you know your essential things that you need on the water. Make sure you know where you're launching. Make sure it's public. Yeah, go for it, Carl.
Oh, special announcement. I just heard from Thomas Hearns at Fishing the DMV.
Oh, yeah.
We taped an episode with him, I want to say back in March,
Hmm.
and it's coming out this Friday. So we taped this before our first event, like weeks before the first event. And we thought it was going to come out before the first event. So it's gonna have like I don't know how he's editing it, but we did an interview with Fishing the DMV. It's one of the best local podcasts around locally. He has some amazing guests on his show. You will learn so much just from his guests. So it's just an honor to be on the show and kind of share what we're doing and promote
Carl,
you guys and
I think
being
there might
part
be
of the
some
scene, I
spot
guess.
burning. There might be some spot burning in that episode. I probably shouldn't have said that,
Yeah,
but
he also did offer to interview all of our winners.
that's true.
So you know, maybe we can do that and get that arranged for the Potomac event. The 6 guys that placed, I guess,
Yeah.
first to third on both days. Maybe they can do a stream with him on 2 different days, 2 different occasions. Uh, he's agreed to it.
Potentially first through fourth or fifth. I mean, there have been events where there have been over 100 anglers fishing on this mighty Potomac battle of the Potomac type of weekends. So you might be doing a lot of laser engraving for those trophies, Carl. I wish I could
I
help.
got 3 down, 3 more to go.
That's 150 minutes, right? It's 50 minutes a trophy.
Pretty much.
They do look great for what I mean. They look. I appreciate the time that you put into them.
They're not even done yet. I still gotta stain them and put the coating on them.
Good deal. Hey, we're giving away 2 sun shirts as well this weekend. So we're giving them out at awards. So come to awards if you want to win those. But that's all I got for tonight. That's all I got for tonight. Anything else, Carl?
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. We're captain's meeting at 8 o'clock on Thursday. So if you
Yeah.
have all your questions about the tournament coming up, that's the time to get on and shoot your question.
Cool. Sounds good. We will see you all tomorrow night at 8:30. Peace.